Well, if you click on this video, this is going to be a semi-rambling slash rant on Kingdom Hearts 3. If you like the content or you like this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. If not, don't matter, as long as you enjoy the video at the end of the day. That's all I really care about. But that being said, let's get into it. Thank you for watching, by the way. Kingdom Hearts 3. Where the fuck do I begin with that game? Where the fuck do I begin with Kingdom Hearts 3? Kingdom Hearts 3, in terms of just overall enjoyment of the game, I think that game needed... If I had a chance to walk into the Square Enix office, I'll be like, yo, if this is a game you were going to present to your audience, I'd rather you not even release the game, period. Because the game had so much... It has so much going for it, even with its dumbass convoluted story, which got mad confusing after, like, you know, all the spin-offs that I know people didn't get a chance to play or didn't deem it necessary to play. But, you know, in terms of Kingdom Hearts, let me throw in a little backstory. I played the majority of the Kingdom Hearts game, and I fell in love with it like anybody else with Kingdom Hearts 1. It's just that Kingdom Hearts 3 was something that all the fans, all the hardcore fans waited for. They really wanted to play the game to find out, or to get the experience of, yo, like, this shit is crazy, yo, Aqua. Imagine having a limit with like Aqua and Sora or Ventus and all these. Like, it was so much possibilities they could explore with Kingdom Hearts 3. The limits, the forms, the shock locks, the summons, the keyblades. It was so much they could have did with that game. And, you know, it was just a lot of shit they missed out. And for one, if I'm going to categorize this, like the story... The story, man. The story was very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. I know there's a lot of like previous Kingdom Hearts titles where the stories wasn't like that big of hit. I'm not pretending all the Kingdom Hearts games were amazing, but Kingdom Hearts 3 is like, that game was damn near a slap in the face to everybody that really slapped the face to the fans. Because it just wasn't enjoyable. You waited damn near 8 years for Sora to fuck around in these worlds and not really do shit. And then you go to Hades world or Hercules world or whatever that planet is called, Olympus or whatever. You go to that world, the first flag I saw was Phil's voice actor. I was like, oh, he's not in the game? Let me see how this shit is. Meg is in the game. Oh, you're not gonna introduce Zack that was hinted or that was in Birth by Sleep. You're not gonna show him. Okay, let's see how this game is gonna go. And I was optimistic about it. I was like, okay, maybe something happened with the voice actor. He couldn't make it, or it was like, it's people at the end of the day. Not everyone's gonna agree because it's a project. But alas, that being the red flag, I was like, okay, let's see how the rest of the game is going to be. At first, I was really enjoying it. Like, the combat, combat's bad, but, I was optimistic about the game. And then, as I was playing it, it just became more and more clear as you kept progressing through the planet. You're like, damn, Sora's really not doing shit at the end of the day. He's just fucking around with these characters that you don't necessarily care for. And a lot of people would argue that, yo, I'm shaking the mic. I don't know if I'm fucking up anybody's ear. But a lot of people argue that, I'd rather just go back to the old worlds like Aladdin and shit and just see them again. And even like Radiant Garden, you didn't see none of the Square Enix characters in the beginning of the game or just in general. It was like, why would you release a game knowing that part of the game had Final Fantasy characters, and now that they're out, it's like, now that the Final Fantasy characters were out, it just gave you more power to focus heavily on the Disney characters. At least if you can do that, just focus heavily on the Disney characters and see what you can get. But then it was like, nah, we're just gonna have Sora basically like this. Basically like this in the movies, like, oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, yo, I'm gonna just fight this Heartless on the side, you know. Nah, you got that. You got that. I don't need you. You don't need my help. Like, it was at that point. It's like, why even release the game? You know. And the touch on key points, like, you had to wait hours upon hours to damn near to the end of the game, or to the end of the game, to really play the story you wanted to play. Like, and even then, it was like, wow. It was like, wow, all this shit just because you knew what was going to happen. And a lot of people don't talk about this, but if you bought the physical copy for Kingdom Hearts 3, the deluxe edition, I believe, or the digital, whatever, like the next price tag above the standard is, if you bought that, you got an art book, right? And in front of the art book, it's Tetsuya Nomura, which is the creator or character designer of Kingdom Hearts. He stated that, yo, I didn't know how to end this game, or I didn't know what to do with this game. I kid you not. You can look up the digital art book for Kingdom Hearts 3. Tetsuya Nomura said those words himself. He was like, I didn't know how to end this game. And upon reading that, I was like, okay, well, you know, at least make the game. And it's kind of bullshit at the end of the day, even though he's the creator, so I don't know what goes through his mind. At the end of the day, it's like, how hard was it to just have the ending you gonna have? You know everybody was gonna come out of that shit. Even as a true Kingdom Hearts fan, you knew everybody was gonna come out that shit. Alright, after all the bullshit they've been through, especially Aqua, Terra, and Venus, you knew all them three that were gonna come out. Sora, I didn't know Sora was gonna get Thanos like that, but spoiler, I don't know if anyone, but I didn't know Sora was going to get Thanos like that. But even then, it's like, if you, like, how hard was it to make it entertaining or fun? Because I can imagine, like, any other logical person, that combat, music, and just overall interaction with characters, like they're different from the story. And even then, is like subpar at best. And then you play it, you play the game, the combat ain't shit. You play the fucking, you go to the worlds. The worlds are amazing, by the way. Shout out to the map designs and the team that did the maps and shit. The maps were beautiful and a real representation of the movie. But you go through the maps. The maps are like good, but Sora wasn't a direct importance to those worlds. Sure, there was the Unversed and Heartless and shit, but even then, it was like with the main characters and how he interacted with them, it was basically like, oh yeah, I'm here, Goofy, I'm here, Donald, we just gonna chill. It didn't make sense. It didn't make any type of sense. It was like, damn, it was like Tetsuya Nomura. If you knew the game was gonna come out dog shit, or you knew you didn't know how to end the game, I'd rather you focus on other projects until you got that inspiration. I would have waited. Me personally, I'd rather wait. I would have waited way more than what we got for KH3, because what we got for KH3 was a slap in the face, in my opinion. I hope other people's can agree, because it just didn't. It compared to Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 1, even Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop, just like even those games to a certain point, like the gameplay of those shits, Kingdom Hearts 2, you still got people doing the level 1 challenge, bro. You see Sora doing all these con up buildings and shit. Last session with Riku making tornadoes with Orin. Fucking Aladdin stopping time, snapping his finger on your shoulder. And he's like, yo, what's good, bro? It's like shit like that. Like it was so much flair and dope shit in Kingdom Hearts 2. But when you go to Kingdom Hearts 3, you just mash a button into a carnival ride. And you like, what happened? What the fuck happened? And then you hear this nigga Donald in the back, you saying, yo, this look good for new ingredients. And you sit there and you're like, yo, damn. You know? And this is and you know, and a lot of people moved on from Kingdom Hearts, and as they should from what the last game was. But at the end of the day, you just sit there like damn, bro. Like damn, like if you like another point is like Kyrie and Axel, like what the fuck were they doing? Axel like Kyrie like yo, our final day at training with like you know how cool it would have been if Kyrie had her own section in the game where Sora, Riku were like incapacitated or captured by some shit, or there was Heartless that took both of them over, or the remaining Keyblade wielders, and Kyrie was like, alright, now it's time for really, like she had a dope power that only she could do to beat that enemy. You know how dope that shit would have been? Or if each individual Keyblade trio went into a secret section and they fought each opposite Xehanort and Kyrie and Riku and Sora, or like how Riku and Sora had that ending in Kingdom Hearts 2. It should have been like that in Kingdom Hearts 3, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, this game has so much potential wasted. So much potential wasted. And this is me just thinking about it off the top of my dome for like 2 minutes. Like, imagine Kyrie and Sora with a limit, bro. They probably have it in the DLC Remake, but you gotta pay $30 for that shit, and that shit came a year after the game's initial release. So you have to pay $30 for a game that should have the DLC should have been in the game day one. Why am I paying an extra $30 for that shit? And I see nobody talking about that. Everybody fighting in the DLC. Mickey doing this slow walk shit to like you know how cool it would have been if that was in the game? No, we had to wait a whole year for that shit. Literally, if you look at the initial release day of Kingdom Hearts 3 and Remake, is damn near a year. They both come out in January. And you sit there and you're like, damn, is this a money grab, or are they really being dead ass with this? But, you know, like I said, I love Kingdom Hearts. But the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 came out as it did, it really shits on the hardcore fans, or just people that just love, like, look at Sora now in Smash. How many people freak the fuck out for him being in Smash? You know how amazing Kingdom Hearts 3 would have been if they actually gave a fuck, if they actually really wanted to make that game legendary. As convoluted and as confusing as the story was, that game, the characters were the driving force to that game. You cannot say you don't like Riku. You can't say you don't like Sora. You can't Kyrie's a mix good and bad, but you can't honestly say she's like a dog shit character. You can't say, you know, Axel, Roxas, Guillaume, all these characters. The only character that I can honestly say that might get the backlash is probably the Wayfinder trio. Because Terra was kind of stupid. Ventus was just a dude just walking with his thumb up. And Aqua's probably the best one out that trio. But even then, you can't say they're really that terrible. And you had these characters giving you so much potential and opportunities that you just wasted on. From just, yo, Sora, well, let's go to this world. Alright, we here. Yo, I need to learn the power of waking. Well, we ain't gonna learn it here. Alright, next planet. Oh, I ain't gonna learn here, next planet. Oh, I ain't gonna learn it here, next planet. And then you're like, oh, Sora, yo, we gotta help Riku in the realm of darkness save Aqua. Oh, word, let's go. All of a sudden, the power of waking just comes randomly. It's like, what the fuck is all 25 hours for what? Shit, Kingdom Hearts is kind of like this video, just a random ass mess, to be honest with you. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just the passion that went into it wasn't the same. And you can tell, Brad, that you could tell that Tetsuya Nomura, the creator, he just didn't give a fuck. And that's the honest truth about it. He just didn't care. He was like, yo, I'm gonna work on Final Fantasy 7, a game that I really care about. Even then, Final Fantasy 7, people can say and argue that the story wasn't the best, gameplay wasn't the best. Bro, they took a 5-hour section in Final Fantasy 7, made it 40 hours, dog. Like, Like, that doesn't scream out that is gonna be inconsistent. And that game is, and mind you, granted, let me ease a little off Final Fantasy 7. And I just touched the mic. I'm sorry if I fucking broke y'all ear. Let me ease off of it. Final Fantasy 7, you know, in terms of the pros, the game is beautiful. The character, the voice acting is great, or at least good. With the grunting and shit can sound a little annoying. But the one thing I don't understand about the Final Fantasy remake is that, for one, for people that didn't mind the turn based, why make a hack and slash? The hack and slash part ain't bad, but me, it's not what, you know. I played the original, so I didn't mind the turn based, and it was like mad strategic, or more strategic that way. But let me get off that point. Final Fantasy 7 remake, for him to go to a title like that he was basically the character designer for that. I don't know if he worked majority on the story elements, but for him to switch from that, or to not give a fuck about Kingdom Hearts, to go to Final Fantasy, and for Final Fantasy 7, I keep hitting this mic, and for Final Fantasy 7 to come out like it did, not saying like the game was buggy or bad, but, you know, for you to have these elements in the game, and then, like I said before, you're gonna DLC some of the story elements again, which is not really gonna say nothing else, and then you're gonna have to wait again. Like, if you really look at how they're gonna release Final Fantasy 7 moving forward, it's gonna be flawed, because you're gonna pay $60 every single part you get. So they're gonna keep making money off of you for paying for stories and parts of each individual chapter of that game. And you sit there and you're like, damn, this game is damn near gonna be $300. And then they're gonna recollection everything to give another $60 out of you. And you sit there and you're like, damn, like, each part is gonna probably be dog shit. Like, look at the first part of, look at the ending of that game. I fight Sephiroth in this dome to walk out of Midgar. You basically spoiled the biggest secret in Final Fantasy. Sephiroth wasn't even in the first 5 hours of that game, and they done spoiled it already. So what they're gonna do with the other three? Each Sephiroth fight, each ending of that game is gonna be a Sephiroth fight. But my point being, Kingdom Hearts came out dog shit. If I knew that was going to be the final product of the game, I would tell Square Enix or even Tetsuya Nomura, bro, don't release this shit. Because, you might as well have the fans hoping for a long time for this game to come out. Because in my honest opinion, that's the worst game in the franchise. That is the worst game in the franchise. Besides fucking, probably recoded and chain of memory a little bit for gameplay, but that, in my honest opinion, is the worst game in the franchise. Story wise, that's the worst game, because it's like, damn, all this shit is just dog shit, in my opinion. But yeah, I know I was rambling, went to different points, but if you stay with me towards the end of this, I very much appreciate it. I hope anybody watching is having a blessed and good day. And if you like and subscribe. If not, I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Please take care and be safe.